The most powerful conversation you'll have, regardless, is the one you have with yourself. Today, we are talking about journaling for self discovery. Hi, I'm Marcella Crank from Crank It Up Coaching, and you are listening to Soulful Sanctuary. And my co host here is
Hi, I'm Yvette Carrion from Pivot Point Life Coaching and Trainings. And yes, Marcella, I like what you said. So expound on that.
yes. So one of, I find anyway, and from research, the best way for self discovery is through journaling. And now I want to share a little story with you about my journaling experience. I've heard about journaling, eons and eons ago, but
Mhm.
I have never until recently, like maybe in the last 3 years, but have never been able to be consistent. You know,
Mhm.
I've always wanted to continue to journal, because I know the benefits, and and I've experienced the benefits because although I wasn't consistent, I would still go back and read what I wrote, and it would give me some insights to who I was at that time or what was really bothering me. And it just really, like we're talking about self-discovery, journaling is the ideal way to discover who you are. And I'll share this with y'all that I know, like, there was a period of time, a couple of years, where I would journal off and on. And guess what the main topic was? It was finding a man or having a man find me. I was wanting a relationship, and I was in a relationship and it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but basically, throughout the time that I was journaling, I was writing and skipping some time and then journaling again, all about the same thing. So you'll find that you will you'll figure out what's your concerns. And now, I didn't do this, but nowadays you can journal about specific things. Now, that's how what I do now. When I journal normally about prayers that I want answered, about um, gratitude, things that I'm grateful for, and then at the end of the day, I journal about how my day went, what annoyed me, what was super fun or joyful. But those are the three things that I journal about now. And like I said, I miss days here and there. I won't lie. I miss days here and there. But for the most part, for the last 3 years, I think it's been 3 years, maybe four, but 3 years for sure, I've been consistent with journaling.
Wow. I mean, that's really something that's so helpful, I suppose. So from what you shared, Marcella, how do you think journaling has helped you all those years?
I, like I said, when you look back on what you're journaling about, you will find out if you don't know if because a lot of stuff is subconscious. So you can find out what is stressing you out, what's your
Mhm.
strengths. And a lot of times, Yvette, we bring up self-awareness.
Mhm.
Journaling is the ideal way to become self-aware because you are journaling maybe about your day, or
Yeah.
it could be it's so many ways to journal. I in my book I talk about there's at least 6 or 7 different journaling, ways you can journal in there. But one thing you can do, especially if you have a stressful job, is to
Mm-hmm.
do a brain dump where you're just writing about what's going on in your day. You know, what irritated you, what brought you joy, what you're happy about, activities that you've done. You can journal about anything and everything. And really, when you look back on it, you can really have a better idea of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Self-awareness. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that irritate you, because sometimes, if you're not mindful, if you don't have self-awareness, you may get irritated, but you don't know exactly why you're irritated.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yeah.
was one of the things. I would go through periods of time where, I'm happy, I'm joyous, and then for whatever reason that I couldn't pinpoint, I was not happy. I had an attitude. And I know, some of it was hormonal, but after reading in my journal, I found out that this particular person would say stuff to me that was kind of underhanded. It was kind of like passive aggressive. And so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't recognize it right away. And I probably at that time didn't really know what passive aggressive behavior was, but it would it would irritate me. So that kind of stuff, um, you become definitely more aware of who you are by journaling.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, for a lot of people, especially those who don't understand why they behave the way they do, why
Mm-hmm.
they react the way they do,
Yeah.
journaling would really be helpful. And I think it goes as well when you write down, because it's journaling, it's your private thing. You can
Mm-hmm.
have all the vulnerabilities and not be afraid of anything at all because it's
Yeah.
your own journal. Is you're able to write whatever negative thoughts, whatever positive thoughts, whatever is going on, your desires, your wants, the things you hate, everything under the sun in that journal because it's private, it's yours. And
Mm-hmm.
as you said, after reading them, there are always realizations about who you are or about why you do the things you do. And that's really
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom line, it is self-awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. And so a couple of things you can do is process your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
How am I feeling today? What caused me to feel this way today? I do that sometimes. And then it's like I said earlier about identifying problems,
Mm.
you know, or even what am I thinking about all the time? And
Yeah.
I know like when I was talking about finding a man or man was the main topic all the time. So that showed me that that was my priority is relationships, the opposite
Mm.
sex relationships. So it kind of like gives you an idea because you're processing your thoughts. So if you like freehand and just write,
Yeah.
what you're thinking, you will discover, you know,
Mm. Yeah.
discover who you are. I know a lot of people don't believe or think that journaling is old school, but I still believe in it. I still believe that, like I said, when I introduced the topic, is the most powerful conversation you'll have.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
with yourself, because you don't have to put on a mask. You can be absolutely transparent about what you are dealing with, what's going on with you. And a lot of
Yeah.
times when you're writing, your subconscious comes to the forefront and it's things that you're not even aware about. You'll see it on paper. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can journal. But I recommend, you could record it. You can write it down on, in your, or type it out. But I
Yeah.
just believe that when you write it, you do something to your cognitive, um,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
co-
Your
go
cognitive.
on.
Yeah. And it's released when you write it on
Right.
paper. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
It's,
cognitive processing, you can process it better as you are writing
mm,
it with, pen and paper. But there's other
yeah.
ways that you can do, you can journal. That's, I think, the most effective way.
Yep, that is true. And even as a coach, we have different kinds of journalings. We have, especially if it's a cognitive behavioral therapy, it really helps to have a journal, finding out the ABCs, like what
Hmm.
what triggers, and then why were you triggered, what is the emotion, and then understanding it, and then processing it. Journaling is a way to help that because it's different when you have it all in your head and then when you see it on a piece of paper and then you see, oh, it's like when you imagine to have something that you want and then go order online, and then when Amazon delivers it to your home, and oh, so this is it. It's the same way, like when you have it in your head, in your thoughts, and then putting it on paper, and then seeing it actually there with the words, with the tangible words and all these things that you see. So
Yes.
it helps in CBT. And for me, my favorite is my gratitude journal. I call it, in the Philippines, we have this word called salamat. And salamat is the Tagalog version of thank you or gratitude or thanks. So I have a book of salamat. And every day I write things that I am thankful for the day. And it helps because the next day, no matter how bad your day was, there's always something to be grateful for. And when
Mhm.
you do it every day, you realize that no matter how hard life is, there's always something to be grateful for. Just the fact that you woke up and opened your eyes and you
Mhm.
can still breathe while others really have a hard time breathing and all that. The little things in life, little celebrations. So for me, that's my journaling. It's my book of salamat.
Uh, yeah, so that's part of my journaling too. What
Yeah.
am I grateful for? My
Yep.
prayers,
Yeah.
and then what was my day like? What was my day like? So yeah.
It's wonderful.
Oh,
So, guys, for listening and watching, you can start if you're doing it. It's really beautiful. You can share with us how it has affected you,
hmm.
what, so that you can also share with the people who are watching and you can read the comments how enlightening, how inspiring it is to write your journal and how it changed your life.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
Marcella, parting thoughts?
Um, Want to challenge you, my
Mm.
audience, to journal and really to just get started. You only need like less than really 5 minutes a day, but commit to 5 minutes a day
Mhm.
and journal. And you will see. And then what I want you to do is do it for a week, 5 minutes a day. And then at the end of the week, look at what you've written and share how you feel about that.
Yep.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm very interested because I just think that journaling is a good way to unlock some of the stuff that you may be going through in your subconscious and you're not aware of it. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's the end of this episode. We appreciate you. We thank everyone who has subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, if you can relate, we want you to subscribe. And if you can't relate, look at one of our other videos. And I know, you know, what we're saying is very helpful. to
Yep.
for self-love, because that's what we're all about, is we want everyone to love themselves. And a lot of times you think you might be loving yourself, but and a lot of times we don't know ourselves to love ourselves. So this
Yep.
is a program about self-love so that you would learn, you would be self-aware, and you would love yourself just where you are. And then, but would be inspired to grow in the love that you have for yourself. I'm
Beautifully
Marcella.
said.
Thank you, Miss Yvette. So,
So there you go. Sorry. Go ahead,
no, I was
Marcella.
just going to say bye for now.
All right. Bye for now. And please do like and subscribe and share so that, it's good to share the beautiful things that we learn. Woohoo. So thank you.
And before I go, I need to mention my book, The
Oh, yeah.
Self-Love Workbook for Women. And of course, I still don't have it in front of me, Yvette. You have yours? There it
Here,
is,
guys.
The
Here.
Self-Love Workbook for Women. We can see it. Go on
Yep.
and get it. All
Yep.
right. And let me
Amazon.
know if you do. See you next week. Bye bye.